Well, hi there everyone. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I've got another meal in a jar recipe for you. This one is a classic. It's for tomato basil soup. This is a creamy version of it. My mom used to serve this on rainy days, and we always ate it with a grilled cheese sandwich. My mom kept a sourdough starter going through most of my childhood in Virginia and in Louisiana, so we had amazing grilled cheese sandwiches. And I had made some artisan bread the day before, so that's what I used. I'll be sure to link that video so you can see how to keep that as a shelf-stable mix. It's very similar to the stromboli dough that I showed y'all just a few days ago. So let me show you how I put this together. It's a very simple recipe. You're going to love this. I'm starting with just a half pint jar because I only needed about 3 servings of this, but I'm going to suggest y'all use a pint-sized jar just because I didn't actually put the optional thickener into the jar, and if you use a pint jar you can fit it in there. These are the powders that I use to make this a really nice, rich and creamy soup. I'm going to use 2 kinds of tomato powder in here. The first one is our Thrive Life tomato powder, and the only ingredient in that is tomatoes. And the second is our tomato sauce, and it has some extra seasonings in there. It's really yummy. Just a few chopped onions. Now I'm going to suggest you use freeze-dried herbs here. The freeze-dried basil from Lighthouse is so good. It's not bitter at all. It's a wonderful basil. Okay, and then here are the seasonings. If you put chicken bouillon powder, it's the equivalent of putting some chicken broth into your soup. So I suggest you use that, as well as some salt, pepper, garlic. A little bit of cayenne will help deepen the flavor, and you do need a little bit of sugar because there's so much acidity in this soup from the tomatoes. That'll help round out the flavor. So this is the jar you could keep stored on your pantry shelf. And it's so simple to make. It's a just add water recipe. It's as simple as opening a can of soup that you bought at the store, but with these, you know exactly the ingredients you put in there. These are wonderful jars to keep on your pantry shelf. You'll just add about 4 cups of water to this and give it a good stir. You'll put this on about a medium heat. I wouldn't do any hotter than that just because it's got those cream powders in there. So bring it to a boil over medium heat. Give it a stir occasionally. Those little lumps that you see at the beginning will dissolve as you heat the soup. Once you've reached a boil, you can turn down your temperature just a little bit, probably about a medium-low, and just simmer this for about 10 minutes. Now here is that optional thickener I was talking about. This is how my mom thickened her tomato soup. She used instant mashed potato flakes. They are neutral in flavor and they're instant, so it thickens this instantly. I love them. I think they're wonderful in here. They give just a little bit of texture to your soup and they thicken it up really nicely. I also like to add just a little additional heavy cream. You don't have to do that, but I love cream in my soups. If you've watched my videos, you know how much I love heavy cream. So this is the texture that you'll have. It's a nice, smooth soup. If you don't want to use those instant mashed potato flakes to thicken your soup, I suggest you use some of our bechamel sauce powder. Instead of adding the heavy cream and the butter powder, you could add 1/4 cup of our bechamel sauce, and that would help to thicken the soup instead of using the mashed potato flakes. Now I served it up in that beautiful bowl, but I ended up giving that to my daughter, so I took pictures with a different bowl. But I went ahead and made my grilled cheese sandwich, and while I made that, the soup did thicken up a little bit more. I like to top this with just a little bit of extra basil. It's also good with a swirl of extra virgin olive oil. It's a really nice soup. Now, you could do this entire setup here as a shelf-stable meal if you use my artisan bread mix to make the bread, and if you use the Thrive Life cheddar cheese, the freeze-dried cheddar, you can rehydrate that and make the grilled cheese sandwich with that. So this whole setup here can be a shelf-stable meal if you have the time for it. Now, I didn't take the time to do that today, but it's definitely a possibility, and it would be amazing. Now, I do like to dunk my grilled cheese sandwiches in the tomato soup because that's classic and that's delicious, but I also like to just tear off little pieces of my grilled cheese sandwich and float it in the top of my soup. It's almost like putting little croutons in there, and that's probably my preferred method of eating it. It's so good. I think a grilled cheese sandwich just pairs beautifully with this nice and creamy, rich tomato basil soup. That right there, that's a perfect bite. Yeah, doesn't that look so good? I just love this soup. I hope y'all love it too. I will include the full recipe in the description box below, as well as my shopping link in case you would like to pick up any of these Thrive Life ingredients you see featured in my videos. I'll also include my website where you can pick up my new cookbook. I have an ebook cookbook for meals in jars. It has over 90 of my recipes from my YouTube channel. And one of the really cool things about an ebook is you can download this onto multiple devices, and then you can print off any of the recipes that you're interested in. You can also zoom in and enlarge the text, which is really helpful. Lots and lots of recipes in there for you. If you like to keep meals in jars on your pantry shelf, it would be a really good buy for you. All right, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And be sure to leave me a comment below. All those things really help my channel. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.